Okay, let's take a look at some modules, how they work in Comanche. We'll start with mod alias. And what's great about Comanche is it's one of the few well-commented applications in Squeak. And it comes with these great code examples. So the first thing we do here is we're going to create a module assembly instance and put it in a temporary variable. We're going to add two plugs, one that's accessible just by going to the website and one that's accessible by going to /hello, which you see there. So if you actually go to module assembly, you'll see that the alias2 selector, which we just used, is creating a new mod alias. So you can see how module assembly is kind of the center point for using all these different modules. It contains the selectors that will initialize them. Mod doc new, I think there I just rolled through a couple of examples where you saw those selectors creating new instances. So back to mod alias. We don't have to put this in a workspace. We can just highlight and do it in place. And I did it, and there's already a port running on something running on port 8080, so we're going to switch to 9000. Highlight and do it in place. So if we go to the usual localhost 9000 in this case, we get this sort of default hello world content. This is the default content. And if we go to a different path, we go to hello, we get this is the aliased content. So you can see that's how mod alias is working. It can help you build a tree to different types of content from one domain. Now we're going to switch to mod auth for authorization. The first thing we'll do is create an instance of com-auth database, which is where we'll store our usernames and passwords. And we put that in a temporary variable, and we add the username and password admin password. We go back to com-auth database and that selector, and we can see that it's got a instance variable called passwords where it's storing the passwords, and it's using @put to put that combination into a dictionary. So after we found a place to store our username and password, we do our usual again. We go to module assembly to start building what we will see on the web page. We use authenticate realm. The authDB is the database we just created. Realm is an HTTP thing. I don't understand all that well. It's part of the HTTP protocol. So back to module assembly, authenticate realm. We create a new mod auth. And again, we're going to create a plug with our default content, hello world, but this time we can't get to it unless we enter the username and password admin password, which I think I'm promptly about to forget. And we need a new port again. So we're on port 9010 this time. So we go to 9010 and there we have to authenticate. And because I forgot the username and password, which are an admin password, I had to go back and check. So there's Comanche protecting your content. Now what's interesting about mod auth is that we can go to com authDB all instances and take a look at the instances of the class of the object we just created. The latest instances are always at the bottom, and you can see there's passwords. That's the instance variable, and it's got a dictionary, admin and then association to a number. That's a kind of weak encoding, but you get the idea. There's the username and password stored in our database. If we look at mod auth and get all the instances, the bottom instance is the most recent one, and you can see that mod auth has a instance variable called auth database, and in auth database is the com auth database class or instance that we just were looking at a second ago. So it's classes within classes, instances within instances. So you can go back to excuse me, to Comanche and take a look at some of the other modules. It's worth doing because, like I say, this is a really well commented application and it's pretty fun to play with.